Good morning. They've got some Morticia hair. Oh my goodness. It's Saturday, September 21st, 2024. I'm Larissa. My video diary. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Early this morning. I had some dreams last night. Oh my gosh. Waking up this morning. It was hard because I spent a lot of time in that in-between world. The in-between dreaming and waking world. The one where you're still like in that waiting room in between the two, right? Where there's like sleep paralysis. Yeah, so I had some of that last night. It's interesting when it happens. I had very, very, very moving lucid dream last night. Very personal. I'm going to keep it to myself. There's one person I might share it with. There's one person I'm going to share it with. But not, it's personal. Anyway. After a certain point in the dream, I began to wake into the room, but I was still sleep paralysis. I was laying in the bed, and I was aware of being in the bed and in the bedroom. And there was someone standing next to my bed. I mean, there wasn't really, but, it felt as though there was. And I felt a hand touch me. And there was like a pressure on the bed. And at first I thought it was Brody. And I said, "It's okay, buddy, get up on the bed." And then he kind of moved a little bit. He was already on the bed. He was down by my feet. And this was right next to me. And for a second, I was like, "Oh my God, there's somebody actually in the room." And for a second, I like panicked, but I couldn't move. I'm like, "Oh, there's somebody." I'm like, "Oh, if there's somebody here, though, Brody would be barking." So, and then I relaxed immediately. I'm like, oh, "Okay, no, this is something else." And it was like somebody was just sitting on the edge of the bed right next to me. And then the sleep paralysis passed, and I was able to move and roll over and everything. But yeah, no, that was something. Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, go into the gallery today, do a few things, be around on Saturday. We're gonna go out to dinner probably tonight because we usually go out to dinner on Saturday nights. Yesterday, I got a lot of work done. I need to get a lot more work done, but it's coming along. I was reading headlines this morning. I saw that Santa Cruz County workers are threatening to strike because of low wages. I'll tell you, recently dealing with the county for my business and everything has been fine. But I'll tell you, dealing with the county previously has been a fucking shit show. Right? So I've been dealing with this stalker bullshit and everything, and got that clown down here into court in Santa Cruz County, down in Watsonville, and the fucking judge and everything else. The whole thing was a fucking shit show. Fucking shit show. So I don't know. My experience, I want to know that people are paid fairly, right? Like, that's nice. I don't get paid fairly for anything, right? But maybe the county hasn't been paid well because they're shitty employees. I don't know. All I know is that dealing with the county courthouse for everything except for my business stuff recently has been a fucking shit show. So County sheriff's coming out here, haven't done dick for all the stuff that's been stolen off out of my home and off my property. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, mail stuff looks like it's getting resolved, which is good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And the November issue is looking better and better. I'm very pleased. So that's good. That's good. I got a bunch of work I need to do on the website. I have a bunch of scheduling I need to do, and I suppose I'll work on that today. I'll just work on that while I'm down in the space. It's stuff that I need to do on the computer, so technically I guess I could do it anywhere. I could do it at home, but I want to be in the practice of being in the space. So, and just observing traffic and the way things are, blah 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 blah. Anyway, anyway, anyway. Last night for dinner, um, I bought some ciabatta rolls from the Buttery, the bakery that's right by me. Great bakery, great bakery. Their stuff's really good, and it's a real bakery. They use butter and eggs. Oh, anyway, bought these ciabatta rolls, and then um, I had falafel patties in the freezer, and then I had spinach and feta and walnuts and green onions, and then I added garlic and fresh garlic, and then I added salt and pepper and lemon juice and olive oil, and I whipped that together like, pesto, you know, seed and the green whipped together there, except it wasn't basil and pine nuts, it was spinach and walnuts, and spread that. And I sliced up in the ciabatta rolls, and they're so fresh and soft and delicious and wonderful. And spread the pesto on either side, and then I have found the best way to skin peppers. No more putting them on the barbecue grill. I mean, they're good when you eat them, when you make them that way and you eat all of them that night. But like when you're packing peppers in oil, I have now found the best way to blacken peppers and remove the skins and everything. So I put these peppers in the air fryer. I air fried them, and it was awesome. So I air fried the peppers for like 15 minutes, and then put them in a plastic bag, and then the skins came right off beautifully, perfectly. The skins were blistered and separated all the way around. The skins just came off like a sock. It was awesome. There was no, picking and charred bits under my fingernails and all that shit that's such a pain in the ass. And it went by so quickly. Oh my gosh. And they tasted great. They were sweeter because they didn't have overly, carcinogenic char on them from the grill or from flame on my gas stovetop, right? Because sometimes I've been known to blister peppers that way. No more. I will blister peppers from now on in the air fryer. Oh my gosh, the sweetness was incredible. Totally, totally maintained. And then after I did the peppers that way, then I cut a medium size, medium small red onion in half and placed it sliced side up, right, in the air fryer and air fried that, and then peeled the skin off, and it just was again like 15 minutes, and I tossed the pepper and the onion then together with a little bit of salt and some balsamic vinegar, and put those on on the ciabatta with the walnut spinach pesto, walnut spinach feta pesto. So it was kind of Greeky, right? It was like a Greek twist on Italian classic. And then I put the falafel patties on the ciabatta, and the ciabatta rolls were long enough that both the falafel patties fit on there. So I put them on there, and then I cut the sandwich in half. So it was two sandwiches. And so instead of making fries or whatever, we had the two sandwiches. I didn't finish my second one. My second one's, most of my second one is still is wrapped up in foil in the fridge. But Omar ate both of his, and that was like an enormous amount of spinach. That was, you know, it's sneaky, right? Like you see the spinach in the container. It was probably about like 2/3 of one of the big boxes of spinach, fresh baby spinach. Yeah, and I whipped it so much it got fluffy. It was fluffy. It was fluffy pesto. It was good. It was good. Really, really good. Yeah, but I will be blistering peppers in that air fryer from now on. Oh my God. Awesome. Awesome sauce. It totally was. Speaking of awesome sauce, like that would be a great way to make a sweet pepper coulis, right? Air fry the peppers, sweat them in the plastic bag, peel them once they're cool, and then put them into the food processor and puree them with your garlic or whatever else, herbs and spices you're going to put in with it, some olive oil. That'd be an amazing coulis, wouldn't it? Sweet pepper coulis. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was awesome. So I'm at the very end of like what I have in the kitchen. I'm gonna have to go grocery shopping in the near future for some stuff. And with the new arrangement of where I'm located and proximity to home and the grocery store and everything, I'm gonna be shopping a little differently than I have in the past. Um, so I'll make sure I'll do my every couple of weeks of the bulk stuff that I need. But as far as produce goes, I'll be able to buy produce like every other day because it's just across the street, right? So that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, I'm pleased about that. Yes, I am. Very pleased about that. Yeah, but what stuff I have left? I have a spaghetti squash. I have a few more of those mini bell peppers. I have like 8 mushrooms. I have 2 onions. I have 2 potatoes. Um, and then some carrots and celery, half a head of radicchio, and a little bit of that. I'd say like a third of the pesto that I made last night. So, and then I have eggs and I have tofu. So the meals that I have there, I have like a lunch baked potato or um, air fries with the pesto. So if I did a baked potato, then I would put the pesto on the baked potato and then make a fried egg to go over that. Oh, I also have halloumi. Um, or I can do air fries and air fried tofu fries, a combination of air fried tofu fries and air fried potatoes fries, and have the pesto sauce with that. And then that's like a lunch or a brunch, and then um, the spaghetti squash cut in half, buttered and seasoned and roasted, and then do a pepper and mushroom sauce to go on top of that, and then air fried halloumi to go with it. That would be very good with some toast tips. So that's the 2 meals I have down there. And with the radicchio slaw, that's the other thing, the radicchio slaw. Yeah, radicchio coleslaw. So I like to like clear out the fridge before I go grocery shopping, you know? Anyway, I have fresh cilantro down there too. Yeah. although it's starting to look a little wilted. There's still a good amount of it in the middle that's nice and fresh. Anyway, those ciabatta sandwiches last night were very good. Mm-hmm. Yep. Feeling good and creative, yeah. Anyway, ugh, bunch of laundry here to do. Towels down there. Towels down there, toweling it up. And then I got a full hamper of clothes up here. Ugh, I got clothes I need to put away too. Ugh. Anyway. Such is life. Laundry. It is the job that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friends. Yeah. Oh, somebody requested here on YouTube um, for me to sing a Christian song. I don't do Christian music. And what do I mean by that? I don't, I'm talking about Christian pop music. I'm talking about, I don't listen to it. I don't like it. And I don't, and it's not just like an aesthetics thing, right? Some of those people have really beautiful voices. Some of the arrangements are really nice. It really, Christian music rubs me the wrong way. For me, that type of devotional singing, even if you're writing devotional music or whatever, that is specifically for worship, and it is not something to be made spectacle of, um, to be produced. It's not something to be sold. And when I hear it on the radio and everything, it's just like, for me, it's a vanity and an idolatry as a singer. And what do I mean by that? I don't believe in being paid to pray, right? Um, with the exception or caveat of being compensated for work as a minister, right? Within your congregation. And that the industry of Christian music is vanity. It's vanity. It is vocal vanity. It's a very, very personal thing. Am I knocking folks who, really enjoy whatever, that's your thing? That's between you and your God, whatever. But it's not for me. Listening to people, you know, the vocal vanity. It's vocal vanity, and it's something that I think singers will know what I'm talking about. And mixing that with Christian music, uh-uh, no. It's in a self-aggrandizing. I don't like listening to somebody. I don't like listening to that type of vocal masturbation, right? And it makes me feel dirty. Listening to that kind of music makes me feel dirty on the inside, even more so than, like, when I hear the trashy R&B crap, all the stuff, I just find all of that juvenile, right? It's like kids making poop and pee and fart jokes, right? Like, or giggling over the words penis and vagina, right? That's kind of what, like, that kind of stuff, how that kind of stuff makes me feel. But Christian music on the radio and stuff, that makes me feel dirty when I hear it. And I don't like the way it makes me feel. It's not the same thing as being in a worship space, right? I have to say, that's the one thing I really miss about going to church. And it doesn't mean I'm going to go back anytime in the near future. It does not. But like when I'd go in for mass, when I was attending mass almost daily, which I did when we were in Oakland, when I was doing all that work there, I went to mass almost daily. Every day that I went and did my walking and yoga class, like I had a routine, um, yoga, uh, mass, walking and breakfast, right? And then I'd go home and I'd shower and change, and then I'd work in the studio. And then some days later on, I'd go for dance or whatever the hell else, or choir practice or whatever the hell else was going on. But when I'd go to mass in the morning, and because my yoga class, the yoga, there was a yoga class that I was taking when I was doing the Ashtanga. That class, I think it was earlier than what I'd said before. I think that class was like at 6 o'clock in the morning, or 6:30. I think it's 6:30. 6:30, yeah, 6:30 to 7:30. And because then I'd make it over from there in Piedmont, I'd be able to make it over and park at the cathedral for the 8 o'clock mass, and 8 a.m. Yeah. And then after 8 a.m. mass, I would walk the lake right across the street and have breakfast, lunch, brunch, either at the Lake Chalet or whatever the hell that place is called, Machismo's, or at the cafe that was at the cathedral on there. Um, but I used to sing at that mass. Now there was no accompaniment or whatever, but I always came in, I sat in the back, and I accompanied. And the priest had talked to me about it. They said as long as what the music that you sing is appropriate for the mass. And I always read my missal. Before I left for yoga, I read my missal for the day, so I always knew. And because that was the very first thing I did when I'd get up in the morning, I'd read my missal, read the mass for the day. I'd write my reflection, and those were the journals. Those were some of the journals that were stolen. Were those journals, my missal reflection journals. Um, then so I always knew, and I knew what the antiphon was supposed to be and everything. So I knew what was going to be appropriate response for the time of year and everything. So I did that, and it was all a cappella. There was nobody there, you know. I sang the Kyrie, all of that stuff. The Agnus Dei, I did all that stuff. I did a lot of it in Latin, and that was not vanity. And that's basically what the priests told me. They said, as long as this isn't a performance, as long as you're coming in here to pray, and I was. And so there was one woman, Ursula. She used to sometimes do the readings for that mass, that 8 a.m. mass, right before she'd go to work. She worked in some office downtown somewhere. Like, I don't know. She dressed like she worked in a legal office or something. But when she'd come in, she'd have her heels on. She'd click past me if I was sitting in the back. Click, 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 and she'd like glare at me because she was mad because they wouldn't let her sing. But she had a horrible voice. She was in choir with me. Her voice was terrible. She was strong enough. She could carry a tune well enough to be in the choir and support a section when we were doing harmonies. But as far as being a solo singer, listening to her voice alone was horrendous. Between that and then you layered her very strong German accent on top of it, she couldn't carry a tune, and the German accent in English was very hard to listen to. So, but she used to get really angry at me, and she used to glare at me during choir practice because we were both in the alto section. But the priest never told me no because it wasn't a vanity for me. And the first time that they said something to me, I said, okay. I said, I'll make sure I come into confession. So frequently, I would go to confession before Mass, right? If I got there early enough. If driving and parking wasn't a pain in the ass, I'd have enough time that I could go into confession before Mass. So, Christian music as a genre, no, disgusts me. I can't stand hearing it. I think it's terrible. I hate it as a representation to the public of Christianity and worship, right? And I don't like it shouldn't be forced. That shouldn't be forced on anyone. It makes me feel dirty. Christian music, the stuff that genre, And I'm not talking about religious music in service. I'm not talking about hymns, I'm not talking about psalms. I'm talking about Christian music. The "Oh God, you lift me up," all that bullshit and the trilling and the I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It offends me. So, I'm sorry if that offends other people, but it does. It offends me. So I don't do it. But that's your business. If that's something you like. It's like, death metal. Some people are offended by death metal. Some people are offended by hip hop and R&B. I'm offended by Christian music, and I've now explained why. So anyway, it's not that I don't ever sing hymns or anything, or that I haven't personally written music that was devotional, but that's very, very personal. And it's not something I would perform like for a concert, right? Anyway, 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 move on with the day now.